The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
And good morning here at 5 a.m. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Chris Burton. And
we begin this morning with an issue we cover extensively here at KGET, pedestrian safety. A person has died after being hit by a truck last night in Oildale. It happened just before 8 p.m. According to the CHP incident page, the pedestrian was hit by a truck on North Chester Avenue and China Grade Loop. A witness at the scene said it looked like the pedestrian had been in a crosswalk, but it's unclear if the person was crossing on a red or green light. The pedestrian was taken to the hospital and later died. The driver stayed on the scene. By our count, this is the 16th pedestrian fatality in Kern County this year.
Making news around the state, a 3-month-old baby was kidnapped by a stranger who walked into the family's home in San Jose yesterday, according to police. This is a picture of the infant, Brandon Queller. San Jose police say the mother was at work and the child's grandmother was watching him. Police say the grandmother was downstairs unloading groceries when the kidnapper walked in and took the baby. Here you can see him walking down the street, holding the infant in a car seat.
Today, someone is walking around with a 3-month-old baby that they did not have yesterday, right? So please, if you know somebody, get a hold of us. If you want to call in and be anonymous, there is a cash reward for information on this case.
All right, here again, once more, is the picture of the baby and the man walking away with the baby in the car seat. Anyone with information is urged to call San Jose Police.
5:04 is your time now. Now to our ongoing coverage of the trial of Matthew Queen, with Queen taking the witness stand yesterday in his own defense. Queen spoke about his alleged involvement in the torture and killing of Micah Holsonbake, a member of the so-called Bakersfield Three. He testified Holsonbake pointed a gun at him over a joke he made about a sexual encounter Holsonbake had with a woman, alleging it had not been consensual. According to Queen, Bailey Despot walked in and Holsonbake pointed the gun at her as well. Queen said he then tackled Holsonbake and said he asked Despot to grab a zip tie off the workbench to subdue Holsonbake and find the gun. He said he zip tied one of Micah's hands, and that's when it happened. Bailey dropped a 40-pound dumbbell on his head, Queen said, adding it looked like someone dumped a gallon of red paint in his garage. Queen, his voice wavering, said his biggest fear was his 4-year-old child walking in and seeing a dead man in his garage. We should also mention this was also the last day Bailey Despot was reportedly seen alive. She remains missing. You can read much more about yesterday's testimony on our website, kget.com.
Your time now is 5:05, and we're learning more about a story we first brought you last week. The biological mother of Orrin and Orson West is taking legal action against the county of Kern. The brothers were reported missing out of California City, but are now presumed dead. San Francisco-based attorney Joaquin McCoy filed the claim on April 6th on behalf of Ryan Dean, the biological mother. The claim alleges the department unlawfully took the children and placed them in danger. Dean tried to get her children returned and said she noticed differences after they started living with the Wests. McCoy says Kern County responded and denied the claim on April 19th.
We have to get both the response back from Kern County and the state before we file our lawsuit.
Dean's mother, Dana Moorer, filed requests to have the boys placed with her. The Department of Human Services revoked Dean's parental rights and denied Moorer's requests. Charles Pettis, the biological father of the boys, is suing the county and has a hearing scheduled next month. The claim is scheduled to be discussed by county supervisors in closed session today.
In your 17 Crime Watch this morning, a total of 20 people have been arrested and 5 victims recovered in a multi-agency investigation involving human trafficking and child exploitation operation here in Bakersfield. Kern County District Attorney Cynthia Zimmer says between April 20th and 23rd, 3 people were arrested for trying to contact juveniles for lewd purposes via social media and dating apps. One of those arrested was a lieutenant with the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Jose Donaciano Valdez allegedly tried to meet with a 13-year-old girl at a hotel, but the girl was an undercover officer. CDCR told 17 News that Valdez has been placed on administrative leave.
Your time now is 5:33. Making news around the state, California Attorney General Rob Bonta sat down yesterday with several hundred crime victims in Sacramento, part of an event considered one of the largest gatherings of crime survivors in the country. More than 600 crime victims and survivors from across the state are gathered for a two-day conference. Part of the program focused on how government can improve the meeting of the needs of crime victims. Group leaders have called for the state to provide $3 billion in investment to expand access to compensation, mental health services, funds for community crime intervention groups, trauma recovery centers, and more resources for those reentering society after incarceration. Attorney General Rob Bonta says boosting the victim access to resources is one of his top priorities.
It's unacceptable that victims can't get what they need to heal. And so many people talk about victims. What we say needs to match what we do.
The group plans to rally in March at the state capitol today.
Bakersfield Mayor Karen Go joined mayors from across the state in Sacramento yesterday with a message for state leaders to stay the course and maintain funding for critical homeless programs. Go was one of 10 mayors who spoke. Among the others, mayors of San Francisco, Sacramento, Oakland, San Diego, and Fresno. The mayors are concerned state funding programs that they say have served 25,000 unhoused Californians are set to expire. Specifically, they hope the state will continue to invest $1 billion per year over the next 3 years through the Homeless Housing Assistance and Prevention Program, also known as HHAP. Mayor Go says our city's shelter capacity has doubled thanks to HHAP funding over the years and says HHAP-funded shelters are bringing hope to the homeless.
We as a group, we are committed to comprehensive solutions that address the root issues of trauma, that address mental health and substance use treatment, supportive housing, as well as the prevention of inflow into homelessness. But to do so, our cities need the state's support. We need your ongoing shared commitment through direct, flexible, and ongoing HAP funding.
The mayors of California's largest cities are hoping money from the state's multi-billion-dollar budget surplus can be tapped to continue funding for those programs.
The California Department of Water Resources is working on a long-term plan to help find solutions to the drought. It uses helicopter-based technology to take aerial images and assess groundwater resources. The department director, Carla Namath, highlighted the state's plan yesterday, detailing how the data will be used.
The kind of information that this technology is demonstrating is going to be crucial for all of our local groundwater management agencies to identify where to add facilities, to identify when we get the big rain events, where to put that water so that we can then draw on it during the future drought.
State officials say California has invested more than $5 billion over 3 years to support drought response and build water resilience.
From our 17 follow-up file this morning, the search continues for a father of 5 from Bakersfield who went missing on a trip to see his mother in Mexico. It has been just over 200 days since 43-year-old Ramiro Andrade was reported missing. The last time anyone saw him was on October 8th in Zamora, Michoacan, when his brother Jose and cousin Paul were driving him to the Guadalajara airport. But at some point during the journey, all 3 men went missing. Ramiro's relatives say they have gone to various hospitals and morgues in the Michoacan and Guadalajara areas, but nothing's turned up.
I pray every night for Ramiro, every night. I pray every night for his soul, for his brother, his cousin. I pray every night for him to come back, regardless if he, Lord forbid, if he's alive or if he's not. I pray every night.
A Facebook page dedicated to finding Ramiro can be found on our website at kget.com.
Back here at home, park rangers are coming to Bakersfield. Last month, the Bakersfield City Council approved the Recreation and Park Department's request for funding for a new park ranger program, but it reserved the right to make changes to the plan before the first hires come on board. Yesterday, the Safe Neighborhoods Committee took another look at the program and passed the plan as proposed. Funding for the Rangers program is about $1 million in upfront costs, and $2.4 million per year will come out of Measure N sales tax revenue.
Well, throughout the month of April, we have been taking a look at cybersecurity, what common attacks look like and how to prevent them. But now a new scam is targeting small businesses right here in Kern County. And take it from someone who's been hit, you don't want to be a victim. Nicole Rossi just wanted to lift up another small business.
I thought she just really needed help. So I sent her all the information.
Rossi, owner of hand-potted plant shop The Gifting Garden, received a message weeks ago from what seemed to be a small enterprise like hers, starting a new clothing line. She clicked a link.
About 30 minutes later, I realized via email that I was now locked out of my account.
Rossi was the victim of a new scam targeting small businesses with little or no cyber defense.
Most of them aren't large corporations or Target. They're small to medium-sized businesses.
She wasn't alone. Miles says in the past weeks he's seen multiple businesses hit by the same scam. That may be little consolation to Rossi, who makes essentially all of her sales through Instagram and other social media.
It's really affected our credibility, not only just that, but also, our business, the way we operate business.
Rossi reported the attack to the local branch of the FBI, but she still doesn't have control of her Instagram.
I have recovered it twice, only for them to take it over yet again for a third time.
She's speaking out now in the hopes that businesses like hers might be more aware.
Just change the new password, set up two-way authentication, set up a secondary email, make sure all of that is in place.
Even the most basic security measures could make a small business too much trouble to attack.
That old adage, be faster than the cheetah. No, you just have to be faster than the guy next to you. Same principle in security. You just got to be better than everybody else, and you're less likely to get attacked.
I've definitely seen that happen a lot lately on Instagram, so beware of anything you see and are asked to potentially click on. Your time now is 5:40. After a 3-year hiatus, students from the Bakersfield City School District performed last night in the 64th annual Junior High Middle School Honor Concert at Mechanics Bank Theater. The free event featured the best young musicians in the district's junior high, middle school honor band, honor choir, and honor orchestras. The night's finale performance included over 400 student musicians performing God Bless America. The district's music program recently received national recognition as one of the best communities for music education by the National Association of Music Merchants for the 10th consecutive year.
So impressive. That's, it's just really impressive. And what a cool moment for them to be able to take the Mechanics Bank
and
stage.
Finally be back.
Yeah.
That's so incredible. Yeah, listen to that. Just incredible. And in your Health Watch, springtime means allergies are here, and a new poll by Flonase reveals many people think climate change is making their allergies worse. A quarter of the 2,000 people questioned say climate change is impacting their allergies, with about 70% saying climate change is already beginning to take a toll on their physical and mental health. Along with worsening allergies, stress, anxiety, and trouble sleeping were found to be the biggest health concerns related to climate change.
State leaders are introducing new legislation that aims to fight air pollution in disadvantaged communities all across California.
It's about how it impacts you, from the pain in your head to your sinuses to the way that kids cough, the way they get sick. And right down the street, we have 5 rendering plants. 5 rendering plants, and they're heavy violators, most of them. Now, we've had Excite, we're landlocked between freeways, and now we have 5 rendering plants that continue to get fined and just don't uphold the law. We just want them to simply clean up their mess.
The bill, known as AB 2910, would increase maximum penalties statewide for facilities that violate air pollution rules. The daily fines would go from $5,000 to $30,000 for minor violations, all the way up to $45,000 a day. Officials say the increased penalties would deter repeat offenders who don't seem fazed by current fines.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.